Hello, hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. When I tell you that I got on here and the first comment I saw said unsubscribe, I cackled with laughter. I cackled with laughter. If you want to unsubscribe, what the heck are you doing here? My friend, this is for people who want to be here. If you don't want to be here, by all means, don't be here. I will not be offended. And you don't need to announce your departure. Like, great, unsubscribe. Have a great time. Cracked me up. Literally. I was like, of course, this just is on par with the day that I'm having. I could not help myself. Anyway, hello, my friends. I am so thankful to you for joining me in this early edition of Wellness Wednesday, our weekly community chat. You'll have to forgive the slow moving brain. That is my brain this morning, this afternoon. See? I have Aunt Flo brain like nobody's business. And to top that out, we're gonna start with some TMI immediately. Immediately, some TMI. Are you ready for this? So I have had, and I think I've complained about this before. I have had one of my sinuses that has just decided to be plugged for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And it comes and it goes, but like all in all, it's been plugged. Well, today, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but it unplugged itself, which you would think would be a great thing. Happy day to me. No, I have not been able to turn my sinuses off. I don't know if it's an allergy problem. I don't know if I have a cold, which doesn't make sense because I have not been exposed to anybody that nobody else in this house has been exposed to. So they shall have a cold too if I'm the one with a cold. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And so we're talking like neti pot. Y'all know the neti pot. I love my neti pot. It is a very helpful tool in the sinus health arena. If you don't have a neti pot and you're somebody that has sinus concerns, you might consider getting one. But you know how neti pot works. It's sinus drainage, right? But it only works if there's actually like room in there for things to squiggle their way through. Um, I could not use my neti pot today, if that's any indicator. So I'm on CBD for Aunt Flo, an excessive dose of CBD for pain, and I am on Sudafed, and I'm like all up here is just kind of that weird pressure, you know? Other than that, I feel great. That's the part that I can't figure out. I'm like, wouldn't you think that if I had a cold and like if I was sick, I'd feel worse? But my energy levels, given the circumstances otherwise happening in my body, like I'm actually feeling pretty good. My brain's a little bit foggy, but other than that, so I'm like, what the heck is happening? I don't even know. I don't even know. Anyway, we are here. Ooh, oh gosh, I'm trying to cross my legs. There we go. There we go. Um, I we're here early because my husband and my father-in-law are attending the Florida Panthers game tonight. And so I want to be available to be able to watch the Florida Panthers game from a home with my mother-in-law because they sit in seats when they go where they may or may not end up on TV. It's just fun to watch. I want to be able to, pretend like I'm there sort of situation. And it'll be great. Am I sad that I'm not the one going with him? No. I offered because my father-in-law has a friend who has season tickets, and sometimes when there are tickets available and my husband's in town, he gives us those tickets, which is very, very gracious of him. So he offered 2 tickets for this game, and my husband's like, "Of course I'm going." And then it was a debate of who's going to go with, and I told him, I was like, "If you need somebody to go with you, I will go with you and I will joyfully go with you. However, you can take either of your parents and I will not be offended." So we are my the ladies are staying home, but I wanted to be available just to be able to watch the game and whatnot. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here now. I get period flus and colds regularly. I'm so grateful I wasn't on or near my period a couple weeks ago because I would have assumed my COVID. That's so interesting. And Lisa, the thought did cross my mind. It really did. I was like, maybe this is just Aunt Flo this month, but it is not common for me to get a period cold or a period flu. So it would be a weird one off. It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just like, why? Why today? And like, why not just like clear yourself out? No, it's not just clear yourself out. It's clear yourself out and then keep the faucet going. Keep the faucet going. It's going to be a miracle if I don't have to stop and blow my nose in the middle of this thing. And I noticed earlier when I was leading my healthy meeting that I sounded nasally. I'm like, oh no, I can hear it in my voice. And then my mother in law also said, she goes, I can hear something in your voice. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. Thank you very much. So bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. But it is time for us to chit chat. It's time for us to chit chat, and I would like to get started with highs and lows. First, let me acknowledge who's here. I'm so behind, y'all. I just, Rita made herself known by saying unsubscribe. So peace out, Rita. Bye, Felicia. Lissa's here. Sorry, I had a thought about bye, Felicia. Is that not PC to say? I like genuine question. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, are we still saying that? Is that still an okay thing to say? I don't know. Lissa, hello. And Andy is here. Hello. Michelle, it is good to see you. And I saw Donna peek in. Hello, hello, my friends. All right, highs and lows. This is the time that I love for you, the community, to share with me your wins, your celebrations, your highlights of the past week. There is no celebration or highlight that is not worth celebrating. So even if you have something small, I would love to hear about it. Okay. And on the flip side, if you have a low that you would like to, share, I would love to hear about that as well. And then to top it off, again, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm intentionally trying to speak a little slower to allow my brain to process what I want to say before it actually comes out of my mouth. We'll see if that actually is helpful or not. I don't know. If you have a wellness win, a celebration specifically pertaining to your wellness journey, I would love to hear about that as well. And then finally, if you have a working on it, something that you are personally working on this week that you would like to share with the community, I would love to hear about that as well. Mary, hello, hello. Try using your hands to pat the lymph glands in front of your ears, ending at the earlobes. You mean here, like here? Right here? I could do that. This is one of those lymphatic drainage places, right? I love Mary coming in clutch. She's been coming in clutch lately in my comment section with advice, and I like it. I'm here for it. I will have to keep. It feels good. Feels good. I will have to. Whew, I will have to. Whew, whew. Okay. Now that's advice. Now that right there. Did I just say Mary's coming in clutch with the advice? Never have I ever had somebody recommend pasta to me, but that is beautiful, beautiful advice. And it's actually solid advice. And you want to know why? Here's why. Because you need more carbohydrates when you are close to and on your period. You require more carbohydrates. So it's very good advice actually to be like, especially if you eat something that's lower in carbs generally, amping up the healthy carbohydrates. One could argue whether or not pasta is healthy or not, but sweet potatoes, squashes, rice, pasta, all of these things are going to help fuel your body more adequately for the season that you're in, which is for me my menstrual phase, or the phase that you're in, I suppose. It's really, really good. Flat of your fingers all at once. You're asking a girl whose hands don't work right. So you mean like this? Like this? Here, let's take your profile. Like this? And is it like a stroke down? Because I know for lymphatic drainage, you actually stroke down. Getting a little lymphatic drainage action happening on today's live stream, y'all. Oh, that actually does feel good. I don't know if it's unplugging anything, but it actually feels like it's opening something up, which is really nice. So I'll have to do that a little bit more later and not on camera for sure. For sure. Um, my COVID symptoms are mostly gone just in time for PMS to kick in. Ugh. Um, thank you, Andy. Why anybody would want to leave the chat is beyond me. You know what? I might be biased, but me too. It's beyond me. But to each their own. I am a big believer in if you don't want to be here, don't be here, right? And I am not everybody's cup of tea. I am more like a bold cup of coffee, okay? I'm an espresso. And not everybody drinks espresso. Some people like their light blonde roasts, not knocking you if you do like light blonde roast, but you know what I'm saying. I am a dark roast, bold but low acidity kind of girl, right? And that is how I prefer my coffee. But also, it kind of falls into who I am as a person as well. And some people just like watered down, boring coffee, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm just not the cup for them. My feet have been killing me at work. Being on my feet and walking for 7 hours is no joke. No, it is definitely no joke. That is for real. Um, for real, for real, for real. Low dental work. Had dental work earlier today. One tooth is throbbing, and another, which needed temporary filling, is still sharp. Going back tomorrow morning. Another low. I lost my Fitbit. I was just about to say, but I know what your high is. Your high is that your Fitbit was covered by medical insurance. That's great. My emotional support pocket snack thing has been going well, and I have been hydrating like crazy since getting the new hydro jug for extra water storage. I love that. Hydration is pat not rub. Sorry, I'm doing all of the things. Andy, it's not to get PMS, it's to prevent PMS. It's a valid question. That was a very valid question, but her advice is to help prevent PMS, not to cause it. Um Pat here. The problem is here's a fun fact about me, especially for those of you that don't know or don't remember. I'm disabled. My hands are freaking useless. Useless. They're useless. So patting like this, this is doing nothing. Do you know how hard I would have to work to my entire arm to make it worth patting? So I actually would have to knock like this. This is more effective for me, but it's hardly doing anything. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Maybe I also have too much. It is possible that, like, with massages and stuff too, I can take a lot more than some other people. And I'm wondering, and like, I always try to do things harder than most. Like, is this enough? Maybe the answer is I'm only supposed to be doing it like this. But for whatever reason, because my nerves are a little bit more dead than everyone else's, I always feel like the effort that I want to put in needs to be more. I feel like there needs to be more force in order for something to be effective. And I have to remind myself that sometimes less is in fact more, and more is not always the right thing. Um Still figuring out snacks for work, not the pocket snacks, but the snack for my 15-minute break. I took 4 leaves in 4 hours. Oh no. Oh no. Why aren't you taking ibuprofen? Ibuprofen is the queen of anti-inflammatories, my friend, in my humble opinion. My only painkiller that I put on board is ibuprofen. The only painkiller. And I know there are some people that take specific meds that can't have ibuprofen, and I feel bad for those people because for me, and again, could be my disability, but ibuprofen is the thing that works best. Tylenol does not work for me. Tylenol does not work. I also will only take the Sudafed that you get behind the counter because actually medicine is actually getting on board with this. The Sudafed that you buy in the aisles now is useless. It's useless. Don't waste your money. Didn't get to the gym today. If my pain is less tomorrow, I'll get there. What can be dangerous? Oh, taking too many leave. It was a joke because I read it wrong. Move your knuckles up onto your face. Like, oh, so it's not at my neck. So it's here. It's on my face. Like here. Move my knuckles onto my face and start beating them here. Yes, lymphatic drainage. Lymphatic drainage is very good. And I have not been doing my lymphatic drainage massage. I can't talk and beat myself in the face at the same time. Sometimes, and here's the thing, Lissa, sometimes you need to get a blood level for things. Like when you have a situation where you're in chronic pain. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. This is just what I do. Okay. Disclaimer. Done. When you require more sustained pain management, so to speak, you need to acquire a certain blood level of something. So for me, I would take 2 ibuprofen every 4 hours for, every 4 hours. And over time, over a 24-hour period, the blood level of the ibuprofen would finally be enough to sustain the chronic inflammatory pain that I have. Under the arms too. Yes. So there's a whole, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I think it starts here. Lymphatic drainage starts here. And then there's a thing at your collarbone. And then you go under here. And then you do your stomach. And then you do your hips, right by your pubic area. You do like the hips. And then you do behind the knees. And you do a whole like succession of rubbing and beating and circling and whatever. And that is a lymphatic drainage massage that you can do on yourself. I did do that in the past. And I have just not been great about doing it lately. And I should probably get back in it. Underarms with the fists. Yeah. My problem is I have a hard time with the underarms because, again, my lack of muscle strength. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, eh. Y'all are just watching me do lymphatic drainage stuff on myself for an hour. Sorry. um, I don't have any and I don't have the money to buy it right now. I spent my monthly personal care budget on stuff when I had for COVID. Understood. But if you can take it, maybe leech over some of your current monthly budget to buy yourself a $4 container of ibuprofen. You can get them for really inexpensive. If you go to Sam's Club, you can get a crap ton for like $6. Like seriously, it feels like a metric crap ton. I was just in so much pain. Yeah, you got to stretch. You got to do all the things. I'm one of those people who can't take. Yep. My mother-in-law can't take them. My mom can't take them. It's the only painkiller I will have. I had 3 on board last night for cramps. Love me some ibuprofen. What was my high this week, y'all? What was my high? I don't even know. I'm in Florida. And that's great. And I'm feeling really good at just about the flow, which is actually the topic of today's conversation. So, if you are on my email list, if you're not, what the heck are you doing? Join my email list. You got to click the link down below that says get your free mindful eating worksheet. You will get my free mindful eating worksheet and you will be signed up for my email list, which is where you find out all the information first. It's like you're my VIP. So if you're not on my list, you should be. But if you are on my list, you saw my email today, which I will admit, first and foremost, that I did wrong. I tried so hard. To just be perfect and ahead of the game. And it failed me, not epically, but it failed me enough where I rolled my eyes and was very perturbed about it for a hot second. But what I did, if you didn't notice, was the email newsletter, like the little bit of advice, the story I was telling. You got the first half of the story in the email. But if you wanted to finish the story, you had to click the link that sent you over to my blog. The accident was the link that I put in there, even though at the time it was the right link, or so I thought, didn't take you to the blog post. It took you to my blog's primary page. So I'm hoping that some of y'all looked down and were like, oh, this was the topic we were talking about and clicked on it to finish the story. But I was annoyed and I will do better next time. I figured it wasn't quite worth sending out a whole separate email to be like, JK, here's the link. You live and you learn, right? You're taking messy action. And that is literally just how I'm running my life right now, is taking messy action. But the story and the inspiration behind the email and the blog post is also what I wanted to talk about today, which was how the ideas of intuitive eating has changed more than just my relationship with food, and how it actually has leached into my approach to all the areas of life and how that's working actually really well for me. So that's what I want to talk about. Still can't decide what a high is. I'm in Florida and life is good. My low is all of what's happening right now. My wellness win is that I have been getting 10,000 steps most days while I've been here without trying. I mean, I'm like intentionally going for walks and getting movement, which is great, but like I just all of a sudden my numbers are up and I'm like, "Hey, this feels really good." And I'm energized. I don't know if this is a high or a wellness win, but I'm actually feeling energized. Like I said earlier, I feel like I should feel worse than I do, but I don't. So I'm going to take that as a win. And I'm continuing to work on everything. I know that's a cop out answer, but truly that is my answer right now. Do, 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 do. I'll see if I can order some at Sam's. I don't have it. Oh, I thought you. Oh, yeah, your dad. I was going to say, I thought your family had a current account. My liver and kidneys have been worn out, so no opioids, no steroids, and no anti-inflammatories. Okay. Um, He's on 52 and on 3. I feel kind of lost getting steps in when I have no idea how many. It doesn't matter how many though. It doesn't matter. It's nice to know, but it's not essential to know. Like nothing is going to go radically wrong or radically right for you if you don't know the exact answer. In general, let's have a little nuance here, folks. But in general, if you've had a pretty sedentary day or a pretty active day. Like, in your heart of hearts, you just want the validation of something to tell you, right? You just want something to give you a good little pat on the back, give you a little gold star, and say you did good today. And I'm talking not just to you, Donna, but to us. We, the royal you. That's why things like apps and step trackers and gamification are so effective in all of this, because we need to be told that we did the right thing today. We need to be told. For better, for worse, that's what happens. But here's the thing. If you're moving, if you're shaking, if you're still doing the things, your body's going to register that. Whether your app tells you did it or not. It's not like you didn't move. If you went and you ran a 5K, but you didn't wear your Fitbit, your body's still going to register the 5K. It's not like it didn't count. And on the flip side, if you don't track something that you are ashamed of eating or whatever the reason is, your body still tracks it. Even if you want to deny the honesty of being real with yourself by not putting it in a tracker, your body still knows. It's funny how that works, right? Your body still knows everything. So just move your body, do what feels good. I've been stretching and massaging my feet. I really think I need to rest and not keep doing things that cause me pain, because I know pain is me telling my body to stop. Yes. So if at work you're getting pain, and I mean work, so if work is the thing, if there's anything that is allowed to be the most physically taxing on your body, then let it be the thing that is most physically taxing on your body, and make sure that you make up for it in other ways, right? And also, as I've mentioned before, but I will restate because it is important. Yes, there are some factors that play into maybe why you have so much foot pain, but there are also things that you can do to help, like ice, like elevate, like rest, like anti-inflammatories, a little extra CBD. CBD is anti-inflammatory. Take an extra gummy for a couple of days and see if that helps you. But also remembering that it takes time, right? How much does working out, lifting weights, getting that consistency up suck after you've taken a long break, right? Starting back up again really blows. It's really hard. You feel fatigued sooner and all of that, right? But with time, with consistency of showing up and doing the activity, your body goes, "Oh, okay, so clearly I'm supposed to adjust to this behavior because the behavior is not going away, and it will get easier." But you are coming from a period of inactivity, of a lot more sedentary lifestyle than even you have been previously. And that's neither good nor bad. That's just fact. You are going to 8-hour days on your feet from not a whole lot of movement. So you need to give your body the time, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be easy and easy or possible in the moment, right? Because it's exhausting. But once you show up week 1, week 2, week 3, all of a sudden your body's going to be like, "Oh, this is what we're doing now." Okay, and it will adjust. It will adapt, it will overcome. Trust me. Um Definitely curious. Yes, but your energy level tells you that you're doing what you need to do, right? Like, I've been active. I'm exhausted. I'm all those things. Sorry, I keep seeing my hair. My hair is air drying right now, and it looks cute after it air dries, and it looks cute if I blow dry it, but in the process of the air drying, it's never cute. I used to be on one which is afraid my livers and my kidneys. Um, when you said you get 10,000 steps, I got jealous. Well, why be jealous? I mean, I'm very proud of my 10,000 steps. And I'm even prouder when I can look at my watch at the end of the day and I didn't realize I had 10,000 steps. I never looked. I never looked to see how many steps I got that day. I was just curious by the end of the day. And I have steps. It's great. Today I have 4,125 steps because I haven't been doing a whole lot of walking. So, and for people who are like, that's still a lot of steps. It may be. This house is much larger than the house that I regularly live in, so it takes me a lot more steps to get from my room to the kitchen, and I make that walk about 25 times every single day. So I get more steps in just by being in this house. It just happens. And then I exercise, and then it's Florida, so I can go for a walk, and all of these things just add up to more steps. My last 10K steps was 30 years ago. Basically sedentary outside of work. I've been neglecting my chores and cleaning everything for the sake of not moving. Give yourself time. Give yourself time. But this isn't, it's flat out pain. Yeah. And again, and maybe you need to figure out do the deep dive into what else is causing it. Have you had this problem before? And you don't have to answer. I'm just throwing out the questions that you need to answer. Have you had this problem before? What helped? Right? And there's got to be a couple of things you might find. And the reason I suggested that you stretch earlier is oftentimes for me, heel pain ends up being not because just of my feet, but my heel pain is linked to tightness in my IT band, in my hamstrings, and other parts of my body that is not actually my feet. But because they're all connected, when you jack up something somewhere else, your feet pay the price, right? Your feet pay the price. And it's the same, like whenever you have lower back pain, y'all, stretch your hip flexors, the front side of your body, not the back side of the body where the pain is. Stretch the front side of your body and it will help with your lower back pain. They are connected. So sometimes you got to look outside of the direct thing and look around it and think of what else could be causing it, If the SNP numbers aren't important, why do you bring it up? Because it's still fun. It's still nice. I enjoy it. Hello. I did a free intro to Live 4. I have to figure out some adjustments to continue doing it. I have a metal plate in my wrist and pinched nerve in my neck, so I can't put weight on my hand. She told me this earlier, and I was so proud of her. For those of you that don't remember, Lift 4 is one of my favorite workouts of all time. I've been on a hiatus and trying out Pilates instead, which I'm also actually really enjoying. A lot more focus on stretching and core and little seemingly simple things that actually end up being really challenging for me personally, which I think is great. But Lift 4, I love me some Lift 4. And so I'm I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. And I'm excited to see if you decide to pursue anything similar going forward. Raids to spot broken bones. Pinecone Clark. Yes, Pinecone Clark. I don't know who you are, but this is a very, very excellent suggestion. Why didn't I think of it? I don't know. You need good shoes. Thank you for bringing this up. Yes, 110% yes. Get the best quality shoes that you can afford right now. Seriously, my shoes, hands to God, my shoes are probably the most valuable things in my closet. I spend a lot of money on shoes. It's not because I have a lot of shoes, but it's because the shoes that I need on my feet need to be supportive for my feet, need to be what I need them to be. So my gym shoes are like the $120 gym shoes, all of them. Because that's what I need. So if you are wearing really cheap and unsupportive shoes to work, girlfriend, Pinecone Clark, this was yes, absolutely yes. That's fine. It's fine if it sounded snarky. I like to talk about things that are an achievement to me, and I have not been getting as many steps yet or lately. I've been getting 7,000 steps and whatever. And I've talked about, like last week, I feel best. And again, it's based on how your body feels, right? I feel best when I am doing about 10,000 steps. And wouldn't you know it, what have I been saying this last week or so? I've been feeling really good in terms of energy. I truly believe there's a direct correlation between the fact that I've been getting more steps in and the fact that I've been getting enough sleep and the fact that I feel good. Those are directly related. It's all about, and it's not about burning the calories. And that's what's important. Do you want to get active because it feels good to get active? Or do you want to get active because you're afraid of the scale going up? Or because you're afraid of gaining weight? Or because you're afraid of X, Y, and Z? Because that's the difference. I like my 10,000 steps because I feel good. I feel real good when I do it. I hurt when I don't do it. I'm tired when I don't do it. But when I do, I feel amazing. I'll have to see if I can find new shoes. I switched to, yeah, you gotta get the good shoes. That is essential. Rotation, angulation, irregularity, deformity, and swelling. I learned something new today. Recommend UGG Shirt Ultra, high arch and thick sole. I love me a high arch shoe. solid arch because I have no arches. I have flat feet and I pronate. So I need something that's going to support the living daylights out of my feet. I also cannot flex my feet. My feet are, oh, Mac. Thank you for identifying yourself. I would have never guessed that was you. Ever. I would have never in a million years guessed that was you. Thank you for identifying yourself. Now we know who's giving us the amazing suggestion. It's Mac, y'all. This was an issue 10 years ago. It got better when I lost weight. Yes. And for sure. And it's a very logical reason to want to lose a little bit of weight. And this is why I am not on the I don't want to lose weight train. I am on the it will feel good to lose weight. I can do more. I have more energy. I am on the there is no dieting, there's no restriction, there's no tracking, there's no whatever train, but I'm still in pursuit of health. And if health means losing some pounds, then great. Awesome. Hi, Eric. He was spotted. I don't think he realized that my live stream was happening early. Footbed sandals are worth every Miss Fisto. Footbed sandals worth every penny. Crushed both feet at 38. Oh no. Zero shoes are great, but so are shoes made specifically for your feet. 110%. Orthotics are amazeballs. Orthotics are amazeballs. They are so good. They are so good. I'll throw out my shoes and buy new ones. It'll take me a while to get adjusted to them, though, after wearing minimalist shoes for years. Did any of us say throw out your shoes? No. But when you are able, it would be worth your time to find shoes that better support your new lifestyle, which involves a retail job. That's all. Shoes are a solid answer. Do I game? Well, when people ask if you game and they're gamers, I do not game to the gamer level. No. Do I have experience with video games? Yes, I do. My fun fact, my husband and I dated. We went on dates because we were long distance by playing World of Warcraft together. True story. He got me into his guild. They all, joined around me and taught me how to play and let me go on raids with them and do all this really hyper nerdy stuff that I have never done before. And my husband and I have not played World of Warcraft since he got into business school because we have other ways that we spend our time now. But that is how we spent a lot of time together. We would get on, what was the name? I want to say it was Discord, but I don't think it was Discord at the time. Ventrilo. That's right. Oh, he's going to make me get up. You can't come on the camera. Bye. I'm doing this so I can watch your hockey game. Ventrilo. That's what it's called. My husband has a rule. He will not leave the house without kissing me goodbye because he doesn't want anything to happen to him. And if something happens to him, we didn't kiss before he left. Very cute. Very romantic. I will never say no to a goodbye kiss. Ventrilo. So we would hop on Ventrilo, which was a place where you could talk audibly to people. And we would hop on Ventrilo and we would talk and we would hang out and we would run through this little open world together. And that's how we spend most of our time dating. And then we were done playing the game, we'd hop on webcam and we'd sit and chat face to face. And that was the entirety of my dating experience with my husband. It's all good. You can be Pinecone Clark today. It's just nice to know who you are because I was like, oh, new person. There's no weight modifications for Live 4 that replaces a lot of the chest presses. Sometimes I do extra presses. Yeah, you have to just kind of figure out what works for you when it comes to modifications for that. But you can do, my theory is as long as you engage the same muscles, like for me, most, if not all of the tricep stuff, I can't do. I don't have triceps that fire. So I'm on my own there. So, but I do know that kickbacks seem to work pretty well for me, for as well as things that don't work at all can work. And push tricep presses, but not all the way down or they will fall on my face. But some tricep press type situation works well for me. So any other tricep related activity, I don't do. I've just stopped doing them. And I do instead a move that I know works for me instead. And they don't flex. Yeah, my feet don't flex either. Not for the same reason. But I also find I like to walk around barefoot on carpet. I hate walking around barefoot on hard floors. So I have slippers down here. I keep a pair of slippers down here in Florida, just so there's a sole on the bottom of my feet. So even if I don't want to wear shoes, I need to wear something that puts a sole on the bottom of my feet, because I'm much more comfortable that way. Standing in place all day is not the same as walking around all day. It's true. Narrow shoes and wide shoes that force my feet with extra cushioning, and wide shoes that force my shoes to support themselves. And maybe it's a season of different kinds of shoes. I don't know, but it's absolutely, if you're not wearing the right shoes for the job, it's no wonder your feet are going to hurt. Like that is rule one. I cannot believe that was not my first suggestion. I cannot believe. Like, I'm disappointed in myself that I did not think. Me, who, like, I'm very hypercritical of the shoes that are on my feet at all times. I didn't think to be like, hey, what shoes are you wearing for this job where you're all of a sudden standing all day? Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. I do remember that. Standing in one spot used to be worse than I do better. Fun fact about me. I can't stand still. I can't stand in one spot all day. I will fall down. If you watch me, and it doesn't count for you guys because you're always seeing me sitting for the most part. But if you ever watch me, if you see me, if you encounter me in real life, I'm not standing still. If I'm standing still, I'm leaning on something. I do not have the strength, the balance, or the support to stand still in one place. If I have my braces on, I can do it better because I can kind of kickstand myself on my braces, so I'm resting a little bit more. I can't stand still. I will be swaying. I will be moving my weight in between foot to foot because I have to be actively engaged in something. Otherwise, I have to be moving. I can move a lot longer than I can stand. Make it make sense. I don't know why, but I'm in Texas, but I ordered them from the Union Square store. Nice. Force my feet to support themselves. Hello, I used to be on Ventrilo. I used to play 12 years ago. 12 years ago I used to play. I haven't played since. Although I do say, I often wonder what the fate of my character was. Like, I don't remember the login information. I can't get into like an old email account that I think had the login information. Like, I don't know how to ever access Fabla ever again. And she had this really cool sword, and she was very fun and very fabulous and very me. I don't know if I'll ever see her again. I don't know if she still exists in the void. I have no idea. One nice thing is I feel all the walking all up my legs, and I definitely didn't feel when I was wearing super supportive shoes. Sure. Orthotic shoes come in extra wide. I got some 9 triple wide with extra wide toe box with spring support in the heel for foot flex for all the standing I do all day as a hairdresser. 100%. Get the double wide, get the triple wide, go to the store that will get you the right thing for exactly what it is you're doing. Good for the farming. Yep, the farming games for sure. If you want a really good therapeutic game, I don't know how else you can play it, but for people who have iPads, and if you have, what's it called? Apple Arcade, Wild Flowers, WYLDE. I loved that game. It was just so peaceful and so fun. I really enjoyed it. I'll get rid of my barefoot. I'll go shopping after this. I've heard standing in one spot all day is actually just as bad, if not worse, than sitting. That I don't know to be true, but I can't stand in one spot all day. So, hi, Lori. Good to see you. By the podiatrist, my ability to work pain-free is necessary to make a living. Plus, the expense can be written off as a work expense. Look at that. Even written off as medical advice, for sure. That was how my husband and I used to date as well. He lived in the Twin Cities, and I lived 3.5 hours north of him. Good memories. That's so fun. I know another couple. So a friend of my husband's ended up marrying another person from their guild. Because they did, they hit it off and they spent all this time together, and they ended up together. Like, they are married now and have been married for years and years and years. And I was like, that's just so interesting, right? So it was a fun way to hang out, and it was really cool because in a previous decade, like, my husband and I would have never ended up together if it wasn't for technology. We found each other through online dating website, and we hung out almost exclusively on the internet. Um, so it's very cool. My insurance doesn't cover shoes and neither does work. I'm going to have to dip into my grocery budget or something to cover this. Yeah, and maybe if you can't do it right away, save up for it a couple months. Do whatever it is you got to do, but it will be worth it if all of a sudden your feet don't hurt anymore, right? Um, and some days it won't be perfect, right? I still have days in my nice fancy shoes. There are some days my toes just say, you're not, no, no. And for whatever reason, my toes hurt. And the only thing that can make my toes hurt is if I sit down and I take ibuprofen and I remove the shoes and I just wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow, my toes will feel better. Some days that's just how it goes. But the likelihood of that happening is lessened greatly with quality shoes. No pointy toe footwear. Absolutely not. No pointy toe footwear. Guess what? Pay on my back. I would say this week I did IE with no nighttime chowing down. Lori, I love that for you. I love that you're like, guess what, guys? I love when you guys celebrate your wins. That is awesome. I am so good. Yeah, written off on taxes. Lissa, use as work or metal expense on your Adam. Yes, you can claim it on your taxes. Even if work doesn't do anything for you, you can still claim it on your taxes as a work-related expense. Oh yes. Yes. Everybody is coming in clutch with the suggestions. Magnesium. Magnesium is a godsend. It is a godsend. That's another thing I use when I'm in a lot of pain. Magnesium lotion. So good. Met my husband 11 years ago this week. The 20th was the anniversary of our first date, and April 27th is our 10th anniversary. I love that. Happy all of the anniversaries. That is amazing. Yeah, you should definitely do that. You should definitely do that. You can write off a lot of stuff on taxes. You can write off a lot of stuff on taxes for sure. Okay, we've been talking for 45 minutes, but that's okay. I want to talk a little briefly about the way that intuitive eating has, in fact, like kind of leached its way into other areas of my life. And it was actually Lissa who kind of called this out. I can't remember if you told me directly or what it was, but you're just like, I notice a lot of similarities between how you approach intuitive eating and how you're just kind of chill about life right now. And it's really interesting when you think about it, because the way that things have been going, the way that my approach is specifically with like achieving my goals, right? Let's use this as the example. I am feeling great about how goals are going this month. There is nothing perfect about how my goals are going this month. To be abundantly clear, there is nothing perfect about how it's going, but it's not going either. And it's finding that middle ground, that area where last year I completely wrote off the month of January, right? I was just like, y'all remember, remind me next year that my year doesn't start till February. I didn't even entertain that as an idea this year. And well, that's not true. I thought about it and I was like, well, my year could start in February. And then I was like, no, because you can still do plenty of stuff in January. And even if it's not perfect, you still are listening to what your body needs. I have let go of the idea of like a morning early wake up time. I've just kind of let it go. I've released it from my list of expectations. If I wake up and it's 6:30 in the morning and I wake up and I go, I'm awake, then guess what? I wake up. I get up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have an early morning and this is great. Or if we feel so compelled to go to bed early and I know that I'm going to end up in bed for 10 hours, I might set an alarm earlier. But I have let go of the expectation that I have to get up at 6 a.m. in order to have a productive day or even a productive morning, or I have to get up at 6:30. I've let it go. I've become a little bit more intuitive about letting my body tell me what it needs. And here's what I have learned. When I get more sleep, guess what? I'm energized. Crazy. Crazy. What has taken me so long? What has taken me so freaking long to realize that? I don't know. But I've also learned, like, here's a great example. Here's a great example. Let's take a look at the Oura Ring data, shall we? Shall we? Just for funsies. Time in bed last night, 8 hours and 40 minutes. Total sleep, 7 hours and 38 minutes. It did, in fact, take me a while to fall asleep last night. Come on. Can you do the day before, please? Yesterday, I was in bed for 8 hours and 15 minutes, and I was asleep for 8.5 hours. I was asleep for the day before 8 hours, 7 hours and 30 minutes, 7 hours and 57 minutes. So I'm actually averaging closer to 8 hours with the benefits skewing between 8 and 9 because the time that I'm asleep is always less than the time I'm in bed. So I'm in bed for 8 to 9 hours. And that is evidently where girlfriend thrives. And it's just one of those things that I'm like, why do I put this expectation on myself to have to get up early when we all know that if I get up early and don't get enough rest, I'm just going to drag all day long. But if I let go of those 2 hours and sleep instead, all of a sudden I'm going to be able to do a lot more than I would have been able to do had I gotten up early to begin with. Intuitive Brianna. My life is now called Intuitive Brianna. This is the life that I am living. With my goals, have I achieved perfection in any way, shape, or form? First of all, I busted out my annual goals page today because I wanted a nice little refresher. I highly recommend that if you need just a little motivation. I was goal setting for February. Look at your annual goals. Look at your annual goals regularly because it will remind you what the heck you're shooting for. It'll remind you. So I looked at my January power sheets. We talked about this just on Friday. I was doing a goals check-in. And the beautiful imperfection that is my daily habits. Do you know how many days I've stretched this month intentionally? Three. Do you know how many times I've successfully been phone free for 3 hours that I've tracked? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of 24. That is 25%. That is an F if you go to school, y'all. And I've done Pilates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then today is 10. I did it 10 times this month. And I'm telling you this not to brag, but I'm telling you this to be like, okay, there are two ways that this could have gone. There are two ways. I only did it 25%. Better to not do it at all. Or I did it 6 times this month. Amazing. That's 6 times more than 0. Congratulations to me. And it's just, my point is, all of this is more of an ebb and a flow. Did I perfectly plate a wonderfully nourishing, balanced portion of food? Maybe, maybe not. Did I eat past fullness? Maybe there's been some times that I've done that. And maybe there have been some times like yesterday when I skipped dessert yesterday because I wasn't hungry, that I listened to my hunger cues more. Some days I earn the check mark. Some days I miss the mark. And either outcome is okay. What matters is how I pick myself up and keep going. And as long as I pick myself up and I keep going, intuitive eating happens. Intuitive Brianna, goals, life, progress happens. And that's just kind of, it's taken it's taken my life and given it a little bit more flow, given it a little bit more flexibility, given it a little bit more freedom. And that's, I think, what started as an intuitive eating thing, what started on focusing on that flexibility and that concept of, here are the things that would be advisable for you to do for your health and nutrition. It's advised that you eat protein at most of your meals. It's advised that maybe you don't eat nothing but brownies for a day. It's advised that maybe you hydrate instead of drink that 4th cup of coffee, right? All of these things. Could I do everything that I just mentioned? Yeah. I could eat brownies all day, every day if I wanted to, but I know that's not going to make me feel good. I know that's not going to get me towards my goals. And I know that occasionally I should probably eat a vegetable. That entire idea of freedom, it's not that I can't do it, but it's that there are still things that it would behoove me to do. I've dragged that out into my life. Maybe the answer is not my HIIT workout. Maybe the answer it's not lifting. Maybe right now I'm embracing more gentler movement, making sure I get some steps in, making sure I do Pilates, all of these things. It's not that I'm not moving at all, but I'm allowing myself a little bit more relaxation, a little bit lower stress working out instead of not working out at all. This entire concept that is played out in an intuitive eating lifestyle, a true intuitive eating lifestyle, not an I'm not dieting right now, so let's go hog wild lifestyle. A true intuitive eating lifestyle can be directly translated into every other area of your life. And when you do that, like I've been doing it, all of a sudden I'm happier. I'm more productive. I have more energy. It's all happening at the same time. And it's mind boggling to me how this is working. It's just mind boggling to me. Tell you what, Andy, I have wanted coffee all afternoon. And this is a direct play on the whole intuitive eating. Is it a great idea in the moment? Sure. It's a great idea in the moment, but for me, is it a great idea now? Nope. I should not, under any purposes, have a cup of coffee at 10 minutes to 5. I have wanted a cup of coffee, but we're going to instead enjoy ourselves a Waterloo after we are done here and drink some water because that would be better for my health. I hate how my job prevents me from attending all your things for the whole time. I'm just getting home now. I'm sorry. I also didn't exactly help y'all plan ahead by announcing this. So I'm glad everybody who made it has made it. Taking narcotics for sleep for 15 years, life is so much better. I don't take narcotics for sleep, but I do have trazodone that helps me a little bit. My little concoction of sleepy stuff really helps me. Oh, it really helps me. Magnesium is a key in that too, but only because of the carers. Yep, caregivers. New protein diet is 90 grams daily. Celebrate at 50 grams. Celebrate every time you get some protein in. Celebrate it. Protein is so good. I've done some rejiggering for nutrition for a couple of people this week who've reached out and asked for help and questions and what's the right thing. And here's the thing, I'm still happy to do that because while I myself am an intuitive eater and I'm embracing the anti-diet lifestyle, I still understand the importance of hitting those numbers for some people. And and there are some people that get new numbers and it helps them get into the direction that they need to be going. And I'm still happy to do that. So I love celebrating when you reach your protein goal. I love celebrating when you reach your fiber goal, which should be at least 25 grams a day, my friends. 35 if you're a man. Anything higher is bonus. But strive for higher. It's fine. And he's got it right. Life is a constant balance. It's all about that ebb and flow. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfectly on plan all of the time, right? But you're also never going to in the proper mental state, you are never also going to be completely off track all of the time, right? Eventually, if you are somebody who's like, you know what, I'm going to eat nothing but brownies for a week, go ahead. Go ahead. Try it. See what happens. I guarantee that eventually you're going to wake up and go, I do not want brownies today. You know what sounds great? Chicken. You know what sounds great? A deli sandwich. Do you know what sounds great? A salad. I guarantee, try as you might be somebody that goes, oh, I have no control over this food. Oh, I could eat this food every single day for the rest of my life. That's probably not true. And I say that too. I say that about some of the most nourishing things that I eat. Every time I make myself a salmon bowl, gosh, I love my salmon bowls. I say I could eat this every single day and not get tired of it. And for a period of time, I mean it. I actually do. I'm like, I could probably eat it for 2 or 3 weeks straight for dinner, excuse me, and not have a problem. But eventually, I'm going to look at that salmon bowl and go, you know what? I am not in the mood for this tonight. Or the same thing with my Emily Bites creamy chicken soup. I have yet to eat that for a duration where I have tired of it. It's usually around for a week at a time, and I'm always sad when it's gone. I'm always sad. And I've never tired of it yet. And so eventually, whatever the case may be, you will tire of that thing. So if you need to challenge yourself and be like, oh, I don't believe you. Fine. Try and prove me wrong, because you won't. You won't, my friends. And so it's all about that balance, right? Sometimes we should have nourishing things, and sometimes we should have the brownie. I don't know why I'm on brownies today. Brownies have been my example all freaking day today. Apparently, I need a brownie. But I'm not willing to make myself feel sick by overdoing peanut butter. Right. So then in theory, peanut butter is completely something you can control now. Because if you're unwilling to make yourself feel sick, that means you will stop before you get to that point. It took me a couple years, but I finally reached a point where I skip my morning heat bar because I'm just not feeling it. I've done that too. I could go days and days and days, and I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. But occasionally there will be a day where I'm like, you know what? Not feeling it today. And that's okay. Only expect perfection in a life partner. I'm going to challenge you. Do not expect perfection in a life partner. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to you. My life partner is not perfect. He is absolutely not perfect. He's perfect for me, but he is so far from perfect. So far from perfect. I too am so far from perfect. I am beautifully and wonderfully flawed. And so if you have expectations of a life partner to be perfect, you will be let down because they are human. And humans are not perfect. They are inherently flawed. I was trying to use errant, but that's not. I was trying to use a different word. Um so don't expect perfection. Perfection does not exist. And she says now that she's only kidding, but it's a great lesson. Perfection doesn't exist. Doesn't exist ever. I ate them every single day for like 2 years before. Yeah. And some things are just that good, right? But I also want to make it clear, you're not eating like 7 of them, right? Because you just can't get enough. You're like, "Oh, my 1 bar a day. This is great." And I know a lot of people who are like that. My husband has eaten the same thing for breakfast, like with minor tweaks of like the flavor of his English muffin, or maybe today he has toast instead of an English muffin. But he's literally eaten the same thing for breakfast for the last 6 years, maybe longer. And he has the same thing for lunch almost every day too. I keep forgetting. Yeah. And here's the thing, eventually your body will learn. You can make that mistake again and again and again. Eventually you will go, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. And it's super, super important that you allow you allow yourself that learning experience, right? I still overdo things sometimes. I still overdo things probably more than I care to admit. Um, but it's a lesson and I'm learning and I'm getting better at, well, maybe I don't need dessert tonight because I'm not hungry. And I know it will make me feel bad. So then you get over that hurdle. Okay, I know that it will make me feel bad. So what if I really want the thing? Well, I can have it tomorrow. And then you got to put a little bit of discipline into practice. The lifestyle of intuitive eating is not a lifestyle that is free of discipline. The lifestyle of intuitive eating is not a lifestyle that is free of regulations, that is free of common sense, that is free of um repercussions for maybe not nourishing your body in an ideal way. You know, if you way overdo it, guess what? Just because you're intuitive eating doesn't mean your body's not going to go, excuse me, ma'am, what did you do? Your body's still going to do that. Your body is still going to do that. It's very, yeah, it really screwed up my stomach. Exactly. Exactly. Just because you're an intuitive eater, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. What's the Bible verse? Everything is permissible, but not everything is advisable, or something like that. Good old Paul says something about that, and I can't for the life of me remember the exact Bible verse. Having an expectation of perfection in someone has only led to heartbreak. Yep. I only have control over me, and I can't even figure out perfection. Perfection isn't amazing as grace and compassion. 100%. 100%. And it's a very healthy thing to realize because perfection doesn't exist. So you're literally reaching for something that does not exist except in one individual that has walked this earth. I ate one a day. Occasionally, I'd have a second bar. Definitely didn't go overboard. It was a longer, slower decharming process than what was recommended. If I did the decharming the recommended way, I'd have a piece of a bar or something every meal or snack. I finally eat avocado toast with Trader Joe's dill. Oh, that sounds so good. I have been longing for some Trader Joe's dill pickle seasoning, y'all. I have been longing for it, and we don't have it here. Took me many years to like it. How do I store like half of it for next week? I only eat maybe. So here's the thing with avocados. They are really hard to store. They're really hard to store. If you don't eat part of it today, you have to eat it tomorrow, or it's going to get brown and gunky and weird. If you mix it with some citrus, like lemon juice or lime juice, that will help prolong it a little bit. But if you're somebody that's only eating, and you said you were intuitively eating, but I'm going to use calories as an example. My favorite thing, I posted it in my Instagram post breakfast this morning. I love those pre-portioned avocado cups. Why? Because for whatever black magic they've used, they stay fresh. So it's 90 calories worth of avocado, which has got the fat, it's got the fiber, it's nutritionally it's the perfect little portion. And you can eat them as slow or as fast as you want within reason. They still have expiration dates, but it's not the same as interacting with a fresh avocado. A fresh avocado will turn brown if you look at it funny after you've opened it. But the pre-portioned avocado packets, which if you want the best bang for your buck, go to a store like Costco or Sam's Club because that's how you get them, and use that instead. Now, if you like the hard chunks of avocado instead of the mush, then you might have a little bit more of a problem. But yes, exactly. The holy guacamole cups. And the ones I'm talking about are just the plain avocado cups, but it's the same idea. Yeah, absolutely. But that sounds so good. I'm so jealous you have the pickle seasoning. You've decharmed soup. Excellent. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Yes, that's the phrasing. Selfish put me on life flight. I haven't forgotten that, so I don't do shellfish again. Yeah, exactly. I get the mini avocados, which helps. I bought mini avocados for the first time. I freaking loved the mini avocados. I could eat the whole thing. It was great. You should always knock on the fridge door in case the salad is dressing. Auntie. I love avocado cups. Me too. Me too. All right, my friends. It is 5:00. Thank you for being here. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody who decided to come early for my live stream so I could watch the game. As you saw, Lissa said, hey Eric, but you saw him come in. He was in his Panthers shirt, and so he and his dad are off to the Fort Lauderdale area to go watch the Panthers. So if y'all want to watch the same thing I'm watching, watch the Florida Panthers game tonight. I don't even know who we're playing. I don't even know who we are playing tonight. I think, no, it's not Nashville. Who are we playing? Oh, we're playing Arizona. We're playing the Coyotes. I don't know if anybody is here from Arizona, but I know there are a couple of hockey watching people on here. Let's see. I also have things in place to keep me from losing control. Yeah. Yes. Intuitive eating is not a lifestyle that is fraught without guardrails and boundaries and guidelines and all of those things, and these are common misconceptions that hopefully over time I will be busting for you all because it's important. It's very important. That's why I buy individual cups. Yeah, 100%. Me too. Oh, y'all are popping in on things. It's okay to have structure and boundaries. I won't eat ice cream out of the container. I'll put it in a bowl. And it's funny because now I eat ice cream straight out of the container. I don't mind. I also eat Cheetos right out of the container because for me, if I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club, what if I plated too much? Then I have to finish it because that's my mental burden to bear. So today I sat with the bag of Cheetos and I probably ate only 10 Cheetos, which isn't even a serving, but that's all I wanted. But because I had the bag, I was allowed to stop when I wanted to. I have 5 more at home. I just don't have any here. So thank you, Mary. I was so glad to see that you came today. Squeeze avocado, love it. The shellfish life flight response was reflective of forgetting what peanut butter does for Donna. You won't forget if it's a big enough deal to not forget. Go Thank you, Andy. Go Panthers. That's right. Oh, thank you. I'm Sherry is what I'm going to go with. Don't forget to hit the like button. I love y'all. I'll keep going. If I struggle with stopping, I'll give myself a stopping point. Absolutely. What's most important is that we know ourselves, my friends. What's most important is we know ourselves and we put the appropriate guidelines in place that work for us, which is why I always say, and I'll say it again, what works for me might not work for you. And that's okay. We got to figure ourselves out and we can figure ourselves out together. And that's completely fine. Yes, Sherry. Awesome. Thank you all for being here. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your week. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.